Hey everyone, welcome to my video series on rolling codes. This is the third video in the series. I encourage you to at least watch the first video before this one, as it explains rolling codes in more detail. In this video, we have three different receivers that implement rolling codes. For each receiver, we'll attempt a replay attack using the flipper 0. In future videos, we'll look at more advanced attacks. I bought the first receiver on eBay for $14, and it supports Doorhan, which is the key lock protocol. Next, we have a receiver from Amazon for $40, which supports Liftmaster and a few other manufacturers. And finally, we have a Liftmaster 850LM receiver from Amazon, which was $65. Let's get started. As I mentioned in the introduction, I'm making a series of videos on rolling codes. By the end of this video series, you hopefully will be able to test the security of your devices and understand their potential security risks. In this video, we're going to kind of bend the rules of rolling codes. So I do have permission from the device owner since I bought it. The device is not in use. You can see it's just on my lab and it's not relied on. But we are going to attempt to replay, and I'm willing to accept the risks of desyncing my remotes or damaging the receivers. Okay, so for our first test, we have the Doorhan Garage door receiver from eBay. I'm going to go ahead and hit the pair button, and then we'll go ahead and press send on our flipper 0. And now we've paired this remote that we add manually for Doorhan to the opener. So now when we send a code, you can see that the fan turns on. And when I press send a code again, the fan turns on. So next, let me go ahead and switch over to our second flipper. We're going to go to read raw. And we're on 433. I'm going to just kind of drop my RSSI down to about 75. That should be good. And go ahead and do a record. So now this flipper is just kind of hanging out listening. So we're going to go ahead and open that garage door. Okay, and we saw the garage door opened. And then over on our flipper, we're going to hit stop. And now we can save this file off to analyze it more. Or we can hit send. So let's go ahead and hit send. So this is a replay attack. Generally, you should only do this on equipment that you are willing to have issues with, like perhaps desyncing from our remote or whatnot. So let's go ahead and try sending that. And you can see that just sending that same code actually reopened the garage door. So even though it supported rolling codes, it also supported sending that same code again. That's terrible news. But that means that there are devices out there in the wild like this one that you can buy for, $15 to fix your garage door. And then the flipper can just record that signal and resend it and prove that it's not actually, it does rolling codes, but it doesn't have to be a rolling code. So now let's go ahead and we'll use this first flipper and send the next code. You can see it turned on. And we'll send the code after that. So we're up to 6F. And you can see it turned on. And now we're going to go ahead and replay that old code that's now even in the past, and we're further along. Let's see what happens. It still works. Yeah, that's kind of disappointing. So this does do Doorhan, and it does support the rolling codes, but it also allows for playback of codes. So I would not recommend this product. All right, so next we have this 850 LM compatible receiver that does Liftmaster, Chamberlain, and Craftsman. Doesn't have any markings on here like the Liftmaster does. And it's on Amazon for $40. So go ahead, and I've got my security 2.0 there. You can hopefully see. We'll send a signal. And there's our signals. So we'll go ahead and go pairing. So now we're pairing. We'll try to pair it. There we go. We got the blinking pair light. So now when we send a signal, the opener opens. So on our second remote, we'll go ahead and say read raw. We'll go into that config. We'll set it to 315. RSSI at 75. Go ahead and record. And then we'll try to replay that code. So now we'll go ahead and try recording again from a little further away. And then we'll stop and we'll try to replay that code. And that time it worked. So you need to be the right distance away for your record signal to be good. If you're too close to the transmitter, you're not going to get it. And you need to have that RSSI value. But you can see that there is a replay attack possible here. We'll go ahead and send the next code. The next code. And then we'll try to replay one of those old codes again. And it still works. So this also, we're up to $40 and we're buying on Amazon. It also is susceptible to the attack. So now let's go ahead and we'll wire up a Liftmaster. In subgigahertz scene septype.c, I added this one line change here, which basically is a mask for the key. Make sure some of those bits are 0. That's required for the LM850 receiver. If you don't do that, then you've got a 1 in 32 chance of getting a good working code. Cool. So I have an official Liftmaster 850 device I got on Amazon for $65. We're going to go ahead and press that pair button. And then over here, I've got a security 2.0 code. So we'll go ahead and transmit that. And it's all paired up. So now let's go ahead and send that code again. And you can see it turns on the garage door. And then over on my second flipper, I'm going to go ahead and go to 315 megahertz and go down to 75. There we go. RSSI. And then I'll go ahead and transmit that code again. And we'll do a stop and we'll send it here. And we're not seeing any replay. And again, there's no replay. And then if you really want to be double sure, what you can do is take your sub file and store it off on your desktop. Hit send a couple times to send some new codes. Reload that old sub file and hit send, and none of those codes will replay until you catch up to that counter. Let's go ahead and do that. So our counter is currently at 000D. I'm going to go save it. So we'll go hit the back button a couple times. Our file is called Hollow Corridor. Okay, so let's switch over to the file system. SD card, sub-gigahertz. And we'll find that file, Hollow Corridor. We'll right click, download. Pick a path to save it at. And then we'll rename that file to Hollow Corridor, and then we'll do dash original. Then we'll drag our file back into QFlipper. All right, so I've saved that off. So I have corridor and then corridor original. So on corridor, we're going to go ahead and emulate, and we'll send it once, twice. We're at F. 1-0, 1-1, 1-2. Now we'll back up to the original, and I'm at D, nothing, E, nothing, F, 1-0, 1-1, 1-2, and now it's working again. So you could see all those old codes just were ignored. So the replay attack does not work on this Liftmaster device. So in summary, we looked at 3 different receivers, 2 of which were susceptible to a replay attack, and the third one which was resistant to the replay attack. Please like and subscribe, and leave any comments below or in my Discord channel. Thanks a lot.